I never thought I'd see the day when Los Angeles would erupt into chaos over immigration policies. But that's exactly what happened in June 2025. As I stood outside City Hall watching tensions reach a boiling point, it became clear that this wasn't just another protest. This was a city on the edge, a powder keg of emotions. It all started with a series of aggressive ICE raids across Los Angeles. The Trump administration had been ramping up interior immigration enforcement since January 2025, but this was different. They weren't just targeting individuals with criminal records anymore. The response was swift and passionate. Thousands poured into the streets, converging on City Hall. At first it was peaceful, a sea of signs and chants demanding justice and humanity. But as the days wore on and more people were detained, the atmosphere changed. You could feel the anger, the fear, the desperation in the air. What happened next was like watching a slow-motion train wreck. The demonstrations turned violent. Protesters clashed with police, windows were smashed, and tear gas filled the air. The LAPD seemed overwhelmed, and that's when things took an even more dramatic turn. President Trump, citing the need to restore order, deployed federal troops and the California National Guard, a move that local officials vehemently opposed. The city became a battleground. Over 500 people were arrested in the chaos that followed. National Guard vehicles rolled down streets usually filled with tourists and shoppers. It was surreal, like something out of a dystopian movie. But this was real, and it was happening in one of America's largest cities. To understand how we got here, we need to examine the broader context. Since January 2025, the Trump administration had been aggressively ramping up immigration enforcement. The numbers were staggering. 207,000 people deported, 158,000 arrested, and daily arrests skyrocketing. They were even planning to double detention capacity. But it wasn't just about the numbers. The tactics were controversial, to say the least. They were using a wartime law for expedited deportations, sending people to countries they'd never even visited, and launching a self-deportation campaign that many called psychological warfare. It was a no-holds-barred approach that was tearing communities apart. The Republican Party found itself deeply divided over immigration policies, but Trump doubled down, pushing for increased funding and reaffirming his commitment to mass deportations. In the communities most affected, the impact was profound. Latino voters, many of whom had supported Trump in previous elections, felt betrayed. The economic implications were significant, with many businesses struggling as workers disappeared and consumers retreated. Families lived in constant fear, never knowing when ICE might come knocking. As Los Angeles begins to recover from the chaos, the nation is left grappling with the fallout and an uncertain path ahead. The events in LA have forced us to confront some hard questions about our values, our policies, and our future as a nation of immigrants. I started this story thinking I'd never see such chaos in LA, and now I'm left wondering what other unthinkable scenarios might become our new reality.